still member of Legislative Assembly with Delhi government. Sir, welcome. Yes. So what is the difference in the system? System difference is that at Harvard Law School, you read about 500 pages a day per 2 class. At Delhi Law Faculty, one of the leading one, you read about 10 pages. Now, I'm not saying only reading pages is enough, but then the system is different. When I was at Delhi Law Faculty, the discussion would be, okay, what does the Supreme Court say in Menka Gandhi's case? So, well, if you have read the case, you will say that the facts were these. So it's a test of memory. Now in Harvard Law School or Oxford, they will not say that. They will say, okay, they assume that you have already read the case. They will say, all right, do you think Justice Burger's opinion in Nixon's case was right or not? Do you agree with the opinion of Chief Justice L. Warren in Brown versus Board of Education? So see, what are the skills you are testing? You are testing that whether you have read the material. Second, whether you have digested that. Third, whether you are able to reproduce it. Fourth, whether you are able to critically analyze it. Fifth, whether you have the imagination to think beyond it. Sixth, do you have the creativity to create different kind of solutions? It's a critical appreciation of things. Where do we have that in India? So now, whether it's a good thing that these kind of culture should come to India, answer is yes. Question is whether our lawyers, most of them would be able to withstand that competition. Answer is no. So fear is there. But when there is fear, you need to address that by concern. How to upgrade our education system. Now, one thing which is a very welcome step is, we have started this 5 years of law school about last 20 years ago. Like now there is a competition. Earlier, to become a lawyer, you had to just go to law school, and getting into law school was not all that difficult. But now, to get into top law school of National Law School, for example, any of these, you have to appear in a national legal entrance examination, and which is not easy. And if you get the top score, only you get to go to National Law School Bangalore, National Law School Hyderabad, National Law School Calcutta, Jodhpur, etc. Now, rigorous training is coming, and most of these law graduates are joining corporate law, unfortunately, because it should be a balance between corporate law and litigation. Because it is only litigation where really the rigorous test of your law, of your drafting comes. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, though I'll detail that in my technical session of litigation, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, one of the most remarkable judges of American Supreme Court, said something about life, which is applicable even today. He says, life in one form or another is always a battle. Life in one form or another is always a battle. It's one thing to utter sweet phrases under protected cloister. It's one thing to utter sweet phrases under protected cloister. It's quite another to think under fire when vital interests are at stake. It's quite another to think under fire when vital interests are at stake. When we argue in the High Court, Supreme Court, Mr. Ram Jethmalani knows that better than all of us, thousands of crores of rupees or life or liberty or reputation are at stake. A single person can challenge the entire system because of rule of law. In one case, when media was going so much haywire, I filed a petition myself, and Supreme Court put a restraint that free media yes, irresponsible media no. So a single person can challenge the whole system. That is the power of rule of law, and that's through litigation. So litigation is a very important thing. So coming back to this, now most of these lawyers who are represented through our various bar councils also, because they are elected people, they did not have the advantage of the great education. As a result of that, it's understandable that they are very fearful. They think their entire livelihood might be gone. But as Mr. Ram Jethmalani rightly said, that this fear is unfounded. Now, when there is a challenge, when globalization is there in everything, when India wants a growth, and when India says we want to be the highest rate growing economy, now there are only two choices. As my Harvard professor Amartya Sen, Nobel Prize winner, used to say, when globalization is there, you have only two choices. Either you become the beneficiary of the globalization, or you become the victim of globalization. Foreign law firms in India will come sooner or later. The only choice before us, for Indian lawyer, is that are we the beneficiary of that change or are we the victim of that change? I, for one, will say that let's be the beneficiary. And the fundamental principle of business is this. Adam Smith, long back in 1776, writing a book in Inquiry into Wealth of Nations, said something remarkable about human nature. He says, everybody is guided by self-interest. That was the fundamental principle of capitalism. And very true, but I will say it's half true. Because if everybody is just looking after self-interest, it does not result in the greatest wealth. It results into all kinds of things which are not desirable. So I refine it. I say, and that is the wisdom of India of 5,000 years, and I reframe it, everybody is guided by self-interest. But enlightened people are guided by enlightened self-interest. Now what is enlightened self-interest? Self-interest is what is in it for me. Always looking at yourself from that angle. What is enlightened interest? Enlightened self-interest is, okay, what is in it for you, and after that, what is in it for me? Mr. Ram Jethmalani was talking about the fees of England. Sir, you will be happy to know that some Indian firms are charging much more than England. And in fact, sitting here, some of us are making more money than our counterparts in New York. And the reason is simple. Say, for example, I have land acquisition cases. Supposing a farmer comes, his land is worth 100 crores today, government has acquired it for a peanuts. Now we say, look, you don't have the money, but we'll get your land back for you. Now supposing if we get your land back, which is worth 100 crores, means worth $20 million, how much are we entitled to? He does not have the money. He says, sir, if you get it back, 20 million worth of, maybe 2 million. We say, all right. Then we find an investor who will invest the money, and when he wins the case, we get the 2 million. Now in India there is a hypocrisy. What is the hypocrisy? In India, on the one hand, we say legal profession is a noble profession. Means you can't talk of money. You can't talk of fees. You can't charge contingency fees in India. It's illegal according to Indian Advocates Act. Very well. Wonderful sentiment. But in reality what happens? Very few lawyers like Mr. Ram Jethmalani, who are the exceptions, they do the thing either for free or at highly concessional rate. Otherwise, most of the lawyers will not move from their office to go to court without fees. So in reality, they insist, pay the fees first and then we will represent you. So the ability to get justice in India is inextricably linked with your ability to pay. That's the reality. Now, how long we will, like an ostrich, keep on closing our eyes to the reality? And reality does not forgive anybody. As Ronald Reagan, President of America, used to say, facts are stubborn things. Facts are stubborn things, they don't go away. So similarly, the reality in India that foreign lawyers might bring a lot of value to India, those facts are to be faced. At the moment, our bar is not ready for that. But does that mean that they will not be ready ever? No. We can have, so what can be done? What can be done is this. First of all, let's create this confidence, trust in any relationship. Creating trust, mutual trust is the first condition for successful relationship. Let's address the legitimate fear of not so privileged friends of ours, that's called Indian lawyers. Those who did not have the benefit of the best possible education, best possible social environment. So let's address them that, look, your work will far more improve rather than go away. Second, gradually, as Mr. Ram Jethmalani rightly said, let's develop a partnership. Not winner takes it all. America has a bad habit. Most of Europe has a bad habit. Sometimes they are so self-concentrated and so arrogant, they don't see what is happening in the world. I was traveling in Boston. A young lady said, which country are you from? I said, from India. She said, India? India where Eskimos come from? I said, yes. Are you Eskimo? I said, yes. She said, I always knew I got a prize for geography in my school. I said, I want to close down that school right now. If that is the status of a prize student, no idea. When I went to Harvard Law School, in the first class, they introduced people from 100 countries. Most of Americans think that the whole world consists of 50 states, like state of Kentucky, state of Mississippi, right? These are all countries. 30% of American students on the world map identify India with Texas. Because they look alike, that they ooze out like the tail. So 30% of them. So the thing is, most of foreign lawyers are ignorant. So sitting here, they do not know. We have competed, I know what they are worth. So there is no need to fear also. Indian talented people, when these very people from India, when they go abroad, they do so well. Why? System is different. So lesson is, if you make the Indian system good, Indian talent can flourish, but not out of fear, not out of some kind of misconceived notion. So my suggestion is, gradually, Indian legal system should open up India for foreign law firms. Reciprocity means that equal dignity. That means that in some things we may be good, in something you may be good, but mutual respect. We can learn a lot of things from you, but you can learn few things from us also. Because 5,000 years of culture is there. And I am not suggesting old is gold. But there is something in the old also. A lot of wisdom comes with a lot of not so wisdom, a lot of garbage. But if you have the critical intelligence, you can know what to preserve and what to forget. As Mr. Ram Jethmalani said, in every religion there is a core. There are certain universal principles which are valid even today. But along with core, sir, a lot of crap also comes. So let's cut the crap and keep the core. Same thing about foreign law firms. Every lawyer from America or England, or for that matter any other country, is not really the best possible human phenomena. There are people who are talented outside these countries also, but only through exchange, only through learning. They will have the learning curve, we will have our learning curve. Let's educate each other with respect. And never forget, in business, shared prosperity, as I said, enlightened self-interest. Shared prosperity is the principle of any successful business. Anybody who is selfish enough to think about his prosperity is not thinking hard enough or long enough. So let's wish to each other a shared prosperity. Let's wish to each other that the reciprocity clause which is there in India get modified, but at the same time, it is not one-way traffic. It is that we, whatever is possible, provide our opportunities to our foreign friends, and our foreign friends also respect us for whatever we have to offer, and mutually we really help each other. As in our Shastra says, Ayam nijah parobeti ganana lagu chetsam udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. That's Sanskrit. That our Shastra says, Ayam nijah parobeti ganana lagu chetsam. This is mine, this is yours. This kind of distinction are made by ganana lagu chetsam. The persons whose consciousness is very limited, very narrow. What happens to a truly enlightened person, truly liberated person? Udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. For a truly liberated person, the whole world is his family. Well, Barack Obama, I tried to teach him, instead of vasudhaiva kutumbakam, he kept on saying katam katam. So I said, that's okay. But at least he tried. So he's a brilliant person. So in our parliament, he mentioned that, vasudhaiva kutumbakam. So let whole world be family. But other realistic part is that we are talking about whole world as a family. As a lawyer, I know even the family is not together in India. There are so many fights between brothers and sisters over property. So while keeping the idealism in our eyes, we should be grounded also. And gradually make a path by which, as Henry Thoreau used to say, building castles in air is not useless. Building castles in air is not useless. You have to only supply the foundation beneath them. You have to only supply the foundation beneath them. So let's build the castles and let's also supply the foundation. Welcome to India. Welcome to Global Legal Conference. It's a privilege to talking to you. Yesterday I had the privilege of meeting some of you in person like Daniel Altman of Sullivan Cromwell when I was at Harvard Law School. Sullivan Cromwell was like apexing, person from Skadden and Arps, all wonderful people. So enjoy your stay here, and we are here to look after you. Thank you very much.
Well, this was definitely a value addition for all of us present here. And I definitely agree with Dr. Surat Singh that life is a battle when one only fought with wisdom and value. And I'm sure, like he told me the incident, like he shared the incident about these geography studies, the student he met. Many of the institute would need to revise their curriculum, otherwise to know that the Eskimos don't come from India. So anyway, let's get back to the keynote session. We have our former Delhi Law Minister from Mr. Somnath Bharti. I'll welcome Mr. Somnath Bharti. Apologies for this. I'll welcome Mr. Somnath Bharti. He was born on May 10, 1974. Mr. Somnath Bharti is an Indian lawyer and politician currently representing the Aam Aadmi Party, that is AAP. As an MLA from Malviya Nagar, Delhi, he was elected as an AAP candidate for the Malviya Nagar constituency in Delhi State Assembly election 2013 and served as the Minister of Law, Tourism, Administrative Reforms, Art and Culture. As a lawyer, he has practiced at the Supreme Court of India and the Delhi High Court.